I grew up basically in Florida, but I've lived all over the place. I'm the oldest, and I have two brothers. I met my husband in the Bahamas, and I brought him up to the Pacific Northwest after several years, and we've made our home up there. And I have a son, a grown son, and a grandson who live nearby. I like to garden. In fact, African violets are my favorite plant to cultivate. I love to read books, of course. I was a bookseller for 15 years, and I love to write. And that's pretty much my life. It's pretty good. What is For Such a Time about? It is about the biblical work of Esther out of the Bible, but I parallel it with a more modern time, and that is World War II. And it's essentially about the courage of one with God and how one woman, like Queen Esther, saves her people, or tries to save her people, through faith and love. I was inspired because I had been trying to publish in the secular market, but at that time too I was coming back to my faith, and I really felt a deep calling to put something good out into the world, something that was a good fit for me, and that I would feel comfortable with, and that I would and hopefully inspire other people. And so while I was getting the idea for the book of Esther, and as I wrote it, and as I did research on it, I actually grew in my faith. And so it was kind of a beautiful melding together that when I finally reached the end of the book, I was very inspired and uplifted. And not saying that just because I wrote the book, but just the story itself and what, the struggle that people go through, and the courage that so many people exhibit when they're in a situation like that. And it was very much a spiritual journey for me. I hope readers walk away after reading this book with a better understanding and knowledge of the Holocaust and of the book of Esther in the Bible. Even though it doesn't follow it line for line, it does show the courage of one woman and how afraid she must have been at the time, even Esther in biblical times, to stand up and try and save her people. And how we today in this world, if one person stands up for what they believe in and they have the courage to fight for it, you can change anything.